So we are going to use Packet Tracer today. We're going to spend a couple of weeks working on Packet Tracer, so that way you're familiar with the simulator. This is provided by Cisco. It's really geared for people to be able to train on, networking and Cisco system configuration. I'm giving you some exercises in general, but you're just not limited to this, right? I encourage you to create your own topology, like your little network on the simulator, and be able to access it and configure it. You can save each one as a file and you can reopen it for later use. So you don't have to completely finish your network in one sitting. But for today's lab, you should be able to achieve all of these steps from the beginning to before part D. You don't have to complete part D, but if you want to start working on it, you can. We will work on the last part in the next lab, okay? So you can visit the website to be able to create your account, or what you can do is you can search for the app that has already been installed by the school. So like you can search for Packet Tracer and it will come up with Cisco Packet Tracer. So it will be like this if you and it might prompt you with the login. So I'm going to show you how to create the account because I already allow my account to be activated for the system for 3 months as I'm showing it. So you might get a little login prompt information, right? Now, the first time that you need to create an account, you can click login, and then on the bottom, you should be able to click sign up. And then don't use your Google account, use your school account so that way you can have student access for free. So I would just fill out the registration information and then press continue. It's going to send you an email to activate your account. I'm going to see if I can log off so I can simulate this for you, but okay, if you open, so once you create the account, validate your account in your email. So you need to just click validate. Now, when you open up the app to start your lab, after that, if it prompts you with two options, the left is going to be the Cisco Academy. The right is the skill access in green. Select the right side. Click the green option and it will prompt you with the login.
Professor,
Mm-hmm.
if you go to the packet tracer,
Mm-hmm.
then go to click file, and then it'll say X-Men log out. You can.
Oh, I can show that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, it does have it.
I think it was.
I had selected mine because I had a little bit of a challenge on Monday. So I was like, oh, I'll just turn it on. Okay, good. Thank you. So if you haven't accessed Cisco Packet Tracer before, you would need to create an account, right? This is what you see when you open your app, right? So with your account, you need to click Skills for All because the version of Packet Tracer we're using, it's going to go through this link, right? But if you are training on Cisco Academy, you would need to click the left. But for today, after you create your account and your login for Cisco, you're going to click Skills for All over here. And then you would need to log in. Sometime there is a delay. So I'm going to type in my email address and my password. So once you're successfully logged in, it should open your app accordingly. I'm getting a red thing. Yeah. Now on here, I just want you to know that you can go through a complete course with Packet Tracer, right? You would need to be able to access the course in order to download the latest version, as what it says here. So there are other courses that is self-paced, and you can do that for Packet Tracer. If you have time, I would encourage you to do that in another, like outside of school. But if you look, you would have a lot of different other options. Like you should be able to, as you are a learner, you should be able to explore. So you can go through. There are courses like Introduction to Modern AI, Introduction to Cybersecurity, Cisco version of it, Network Basics. So I might apply some of this for your extra credit, so that way, if you want to go back and review some network concept, you can do that, right? So you can click resources to be able to, or explore to be able to access some of the freely available courses. Now, some additional courses, if you have to have Cisco Academy access in order to do that, or even programming, right? So if you want to brush up on your programming, computer hardware, OSs, there are a lot of free courses that's labeled free. Like for example, I can go through and do computer hardware basics. So Cisco Academy or Skills for All is pretty cool. It has options for you to learn without paying a penny, right? Having the access to this is going to help, or even like skills like English for IT people. Okay. Now with Cisco Academy, I can create a course and invite you to it. So if you want to learn ethical hacking, that's free. You can devote 70 hours, and it's self-paced, so you can come back to it. So some professors, they would refer to the content on here and make you go through some of the content. I will assign some extra credit for the network basic courses later. Let me see if it's letting me do that now. Yeah, sometime the app, it does this where it would require some, yeah, so let me see, it should be able to, you have to log in a couple of times. Let me see if I can log in again. Are we able to access it okay? Do you have any questions? I think it's because I'm on both modes. Like I'm on Cisco Academy and that, so. Okay. Story of my life. Yeah, it shows that I'm logged in. Yeah.
I just clicked on the green button.
Yeah. Okay, now it works. Yeah. Yeah. So once you're logged in, you just click the right side of green, it should work. Okay. All right. So once you have your packet tracer up and running, you are going to draw this small network. So on your workspace right here, you can select, let me pull this to the right. You can select like the devices by selecting it on the left, similar to some of the topology app that you have used in the past, right? So, and when I look at this, I need to first put my wireless router at the PC, at the laptop, at the cable modem. So on here, what we'll do is if you put your cursor on the left side, the first left button, you would see the network devices, right? What I can do is I can select the network devices, and then I would go to the right side and you can click the arrow to see all your devices. You can also click on end devices where you can do the laptop or the PC. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the laptop in, the PC. You just drag it to your workspace. And then I need to simulate this particular network. And our goal is connect it so that way everything is green, and configure it so everything is green. Okay. The wireless one you have to configure. So, and then we need to find the wireless router, the cable modem, the cloud for the internet, and the server. Okay. So coming back here, I'm going to go ahead and drag the server in. You can do it by order from left to right, whatever you like. And then for the network devices, let me see. I'll put the cloud for the internet, and you can label it by double clicking, right? Or you can go to the configuration mode, which we'll do later. So it walks you through and it says that we're going to add the network devices to your box, right? And then what you do is you are going to select. You can also do the desired model from the device specific selection box, so it allows you to go through and search for that. There are options also for you to add other things in the future in the case that if you want to simulate like IoT or other things. Now to connect, let me see if I can get it.
Wireless devices. Wireless out.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So the home router here, you can just drag it. So the fourth option, yeah, I saw that on Monday as well. The fourth option on the bottom, you click that, you would be able to select. I wonder if you can also find additional devices from their website and be able to download if you don't have the listed here, right? So now once you have it, what you do is you are going to add in your, yeah, I put a screenshot. You are gonna add the cable, okay? And your cable option is the little lightning bolt. So click on the connection. We are gonna connect the desktop to the home router. And when you put your cursor on it, it would show the port, right? The type of connectivity that you would have on the device. So you can click the cable and you would click the PC. And then I would connect fast Ethernet from the PC. So select fast Ethernet and then click the router, right? And I would connect it to gigabit Ethernet 1. And it's okay that it shows orange for the moment. We will configure all of this down the line. The laptop, we will need to configure for it to connect wirelessly. But you are going to connect your wireless router to your cloud. Okay. So and in the later step, actually step 19, it shows you how you can connect your PC and your cable modem together. Okay, see how that screen now? So it might take us a moment to do that. So in your wireless router, if I want to rename it, so I'm just gonna do the step as shown here, step 18. We want to change it. There are two ways that you can do that. You can double click it to change, right? Or you can click on the router, right? If you click on the router, it's gonna simulate on how you can turn it on or off, but then you can also go to the configuration tab to be able to rename it. So I'm gonna go to config right here. So I simply click on the router on my workspace, double click it, and then you can go to the config tab, and here is where you can change the name. Okay. So here, what we'll do is we're gonna rename it, and you can. So it comes with. Sorry, it comes with this, and so what you can do is you can relabel it. So if it says something else, you can modify it, right? So that's how you can rename your device. So I can take out the 0 basically, right? To make it router. And then on the left, basically it has the global settings, the interface, like what we talked about. This is a Cisco device, so it's gonna look very similar to the Linksys when you look at the graphical user interface in the later step. All right. Since I'm on the wireless router, I'm going to access number 20. Okay, so I can show you. What we're gonna do is we are going to use the simulator and we're gonna access the graphical user interface. Realistically, this happens when you type in the IP address for the router, which is 192.168.0.1 on your browser, and then log into it and you'll be able to access the graphical user interface in the real world, right? But on the simulator, if you double click the router, you should be able to see the graphical user interface right here by clicking the tab. And it tells you that you need to go to the wireless tab in the graphical user interface to rename your SSID. So on here, click the wireless option. And then what you will do is you are going to, maybe that should be. It has the SSID as default. So for each of the band, right, let's say the 2.4 gigahertz, you can rename it as home network. So I'll retype that. And you can change that for the 5G because this one is an AC, 802.11 AC. But make sure we change after we type in the SSID, save the settings. Otherwise, you have to redo that step later. Okay, since we're here, after we do the SSID on the wireless router, what we'll do is we are gonna set up the DHCP on it. By default, your home router is a DHCP server as well. So you need to put in the static IP address for your router, I mean for your DNS and the configure the static IP for the DNS. Okay. So what we will do is we are going to go into the setup option to configure the internet. So once I have my SSID saved, I'm going to click on setup. Remember we talked about MTU earlier. You can find that information also on your wireless router there. And it tells me that I need to go into the DHCP server setting, making sure it's enabled, and then put in the static IP address for this DNS server. And we're going to put in the 208 address. Okay. So I verified that DHCP is enabled because the blue is selected there. And then on the DNS on the bottom here, the static DNS, you need to put in the 206. So type in 206.67.220.220. So click on the second box and type in 67 and then 220 for the third box and 220 for the next box. This particular wireless router does have the VLAN option. We're not doing anything to that, but you do see that it has the option there. Okay. And then we're going to save the settings. Now we're going to move into the laptop. So you know, double click the laptop or click on it. And sometimes you have to turn it on or off when you need to configure. So we are going to click on the physical tab, and then we need to remove the adapter, the network adapter for it. So the Ethernet copper module, and then we're going to replace it with the wireless module. So basically you install a wireless adapter after you remove the copper Ethernet adapter, right? Your NIC. So in the physical tab, which is the first tab, you would see that you can take the module by holding down your mouse button and drag it. You can drag it to the left space to get rid of it, to put it back, right? So it tells me I have to turn the computer off. So make sure you click the power button to turn it off and then drag the module to the left. So make sure we click the power button, which is like right next to the power cable. It's round. And then drag your module into the left workspace. Then we're going to find the WPC 300 and we're going to drag it into that slot. And then we'll turn the power back on by clicking the power. Then, since we're on the laptop, you are going to click on the desktop tab. And so that way you can connect to the wireless. Okay, so click desktop. And on your desktop tab, what you're going to do is you are going to click connect tab. So it's like accessing, sorry, I'm on this one now. So it's like accessing your connectivity on your regular desktop for your PC. So click on PC wireless. So I'm on desktop and then click PC wireless here. And then connect tab is in green. And then it should detect your home network. So just click on one of the options and click connect. Okay. So once that happened, and you can close it accordingly. Once that happened, you will see that your wireless signal is then generated from your laptop to your wireless router. Now we can configure the PC. So on the PC, what we will do is we would click it and we will need to configure the DHCP to obtain an IP address from the wireless router. Okay. So click on your PC. And it tells you once you click on the PC, you are going to click on the desktop tab, similar to what you've done to the laptop, but we're going to obtain the IP address. So here's my PC. It should say PC on there, right? Click on desktop. And then IP configuration. So click the first option on the left. And then there are two radio buttons. You're going to click the DHCP radio button. For IPv4. And then we can close it. So once that happened, you should be able to obtain an IP address. So you want to check your IP address. So go back to the PC, desktop option, and you are going to open command prompt. So click command prompt and type in ipconfig/all. Now, if it's not getting this right here, so what you need to do is if I have quite a few students that have this problem, right? You need to go back and check to see if one, your wireless router is configured to give out DHCP IP addresses. 2, right, if your PC is obtaining the IP address. So I need to see. And if it has more, just press enter for it to go. So it sees the default gateway, which is your router and the server, right? It's not able to obtain the IP address yet. Let me look. Yeah, you have to probably select the gateway that's DNS. So it sees all of this information is there. So we'll see. Now, because software, if it doesn't pick up, see how I changed it and it picked it up now. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to also register too. But if for some reason you keep getting a 0 address, just delete it and then re-add it and reconnect it and reconfigure it. That's how you're gonna be able to update. I had a few students on Monday that had the same problem. They're not getting an IP address continuously. So if you already checked your router configuration, right, and your IP configuration, and it keeps not getting an IP address, then what you need to do is you need to just delete the icon from the workspace and then just re-drag it and reconnect it and then reconfigure it. So sometimes software have issues simulating, but it should work. So I have a 102 right now, right? We're gonna skip step 26, A, B, C, D, E, but because I'll tell you why. If you click on the cloud, right, it tells you to add a couple of the modules. One is going to be the 1CX and the other is 1CFE. So if I add those module 1CX into the slot here to drag, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I have to power it off. So what I need to do is click on the power button and then drag the 1CF, 1CX into the slot, and then 1CFE into the slot. And then it tells you to go through. So I redded it out because the students on Monday, they were having issue with this. So for connection, it tells you to use the copper with the coaxial, right? And then you need to add it from the port to port to configure. And so we need to turn it back on. You have to connect it. So what I'll do is I will go back to the lightning bolt or connection, and then you can select the cable. Even if you're able to connect the coaxial, right? It's gonna tell you, and you're gonna run into issue where it might not be able to give you like detection. So if you select the provider and the coaxial, it will not. So yeah, just to minimize, you won't be able to detect the Ethernet here, or you might not. So I will just skip 26. For Cisco server, for the Cisco server, what you do is you are going to change this, and you're going to create the DHCP pool. And the default gateway is going to be itself, right? And we're going to give out the IP address from .1 to 50. So on your workspace, double click the server, and you can, I'm in the cable mode, so. And then on the config tab, we'll just name it cisco.com. And then for the services, you would see that this is a web server, right? But you need to select the DHCP. And then from the DHCP option, you are going to make sure that you give it a pool name. So where it says server pool, you're going to delete that. And you're going to name it DHCP pool. Your default gateway, you got to type in the IP address as shown. So here, what we'll do is we're going to retype the IP address. So 208.67.220.220. For the DNS, we put in the IP address as given, 208.67.220.220 itself. The starting IP, we will start with 208, right? And then 67. Then press tab to move to the next box, 220.1. The subnet mask, we will type in 255, tab 255, tab 255, and keep the last one as 0. The maximum user will change the 512 to 50. Take a screenshot of that, click save. Oh. Oh, it says invalid subnet instead of the using 220.267.1. Oh, I typed 225, sorry. Okay. So once you have that, click the save button in the middle and then click OK. So it creates that pool for you. It adds it here and then you can screenshot. And then for the server, we need to add the DNS role or configure it, right? So click on DNS. So it's like what you did with Windows Server last week, but on the simulator, it would be a tab option for that server. So your name, right? Your Cisco name is gonna be cisco.com. We're gonna keep the A record, so that's on the right side there if you need to change the drop-down menu. And then for the address, you just type in the IP 208.67.220.220. And then once you have all the record information, the FQDN and the IP, you're gonna click add and take a screenshot. So the A record is for the domain name, which is cisco.com, to the IP address that we entered. So this server runs DNS, DHCP together, right? And then what we'll do is we are going to configure the global settings. So click save. Oh, sorry, I already added it, sorry. Click config. And then what you're gonna do is you are going to make sure that it is static here. So click config tab. And then for the default gateway, we need to put in the .1 address. So 208.67.220.1. And then the DNS server, since we just configure it, we would say 208.67.220.220. So we're only going to do that for IPv4, right? Take a screenshot once you have that. And then you have fast Ethernet. That's if you connect it with fast Ethernet, this will come up. So this is the adapter, the network adapter that the server has. So you click under the global option under interface, you're going to click fast Ethernet. And then what we'll do is we are going to select the statics, which it has, and we are going to type in the IP address here. Okay, under IP configuration, we're going to do 208.67.220.220. And then enter the subnet mask that's given. If you click it, it's going to fill that in. And then take a screenshot. So once you're done with that step, you can move to 28, which allows you to use the PC on your, so I'll close this, right? Come back to your workspace. Now, the only thing that I need to add is my cable modem and connect it with the coaxial, but so you can use it to look up your IP address, the default gateway, and the DNS, and take a screenshot, as I've done that too. Right? Now, if you're so it should obtain an IP address. Now we just have to have the internet connection from here to the modem, to the cable. You can always save your packet tracer as a PKT file, and you need packet tracer to open it up. So if I want to come back to this and work on it later, right, I just go to file save as to save, and then file open to open that file. Just make sure you put it on your USB or your cloud drive so you have it later. And then we are gonna stop there for today. Well, we will work on part D when we come back from the week, and then next week we'll do lab 8 with part D. Because part D already have the file, so you don't have to draw all of that, but you can create it. So it has the packet tracer already have these components added. You just need to link them together. So you will learn how to use the command that we talk about next week, right? I wanted to give you time to work on stuff. So any question? Okay, yeah.
So still save and try to send this week.
No, you turn in the stuff that you have today. Yeah. So if you finish ABC to step 30, like if you finish step 29, you can turn it in. Yeah, all I ask is from the beginning to step 29, the screenshot that you provided, we will finish part D, packet tracer cabling and all of those things, configure the switches next time. In the lab 8, you will have the PKT file for this particular network, so you don't have to build it from scratch. I did tell the class on Monday that if you do work on part D on your own, like creating that network and practicing on it, I will give you extra credit, like some additional points, so that will be a good option if you want. Okay, but I don't require it for lab 7. Yeah.
You want us to upload it to the laptop, you also want us to submit our PKT to you?
No. Yeah, hold on to the reason why I have you save it is you can always add more to your home network, right? Like if you wanted to play with, you know, adding a switch or something that you can practice with, you can always add to that network, okay? We will have more practice with the regular diagram with the switches and the routers in the next lab. And in the next lecture, we will talk about IP addressing. I might have to, I think this class should be okay with the switches and the routers, but I'm waiting for additional switches that we'll be able to use for the class. So I might switch up on a chapter where we would do a router first before the switch. But there will be some lab in the future that you will have to access the physical devices. So we just want to practice on packet tracer as much as we can. Okay. I'm going to end this.